for more on this, I'd like to welcome in Dan Illouz, member of the Knesset. Dan, welcome back, and thank you as always. Benjamin Netanyahu did meet with the hostage families, I understand, within the last few hours or so. What can you share about those conversations and his message to them?
The Prime Minister has made it clear that we in Israel will do a lot in order to get back the hostages. He also let them know that Israel is in talks with different players worldwide. However, he also made it clear to the Israeli public yesterday that any call for the end of the war before Hamas is completely obliterated after what it did on October 7th is not an option, because after this horrible massacre, the only option, and we've said that from the start, the only option we have is to destroy Hamas in order for history to remember that whoever does such a horrible massacre will not survive the day after that massacre. And that's something very important. It's existential for Israel, and it's also very important and existential for the whole free world that is facing this terrorist threat.
Netanyahu and President Biden did speak. They discussed the White House's desire for a two-state solution at the end of this very dark, nightmarish tunnel. Why doesn't Israel want that?
Listen, a two-state solution is something which has been thrown around for as a solution for a long time, and I've opposed it for years. But I won't talk about the different reasons why I've opposed it for many years. I'll talk about the timing right now of creating a Palestinian state after the October 7th attack. As a result to the October 7th attack, the message that this gives to the world, to history, is that through violence, through massacres, through terrorism, you can gain political and diplomatic gains. You can have a state created through terrorism. This will be echoing in history to Palestinians for years and generations. If we establish a state as a result to the October 7th attack, it will create Hamas. It will turn Hamas into this heroic group that created the Palestinian state. This is something we cannot allow. The opposite has to happen. The only possible result to October 7th that will allow afterwards the free world to survive is for Hamas to be completely destroyed and for it to be remembered as a group that brought destruction to Hamas, which is what is happening in fact. Creating a Palestinian state as a result to that would give a horrible message to history.
How much has Hamas been crippled through recent attacks in the more than 100 days since they invaded Israel?
From day one, we said that this would be a very long war, and it is proving to be a very long war. We can say that in the northern parts of Gaza and also in the central parts of Gaza, Hamas as a military operation has basically been defeated already, but they're still around as a guerrilla terrorist group. And so it will take much longer in order to complete the work over there. When it comes to the southern parts of Gaza, this is something that is still ongoing, even on the military level. And we expect that there also, after we defeat the military organization of Hamas, we will still have it as a terrorist guerrilla group for a long time. And it will take a long time. We said that from day one, the Israeli army said that 2024 will be a year where Israel will be at war for this whole year. And so we need patience. Even though we will change tactics, that doesn't mean that the war is over. It just means that the threat we're facing is moving from a military threat to a threat of guerrilla warfare.
What is happening inside Israel to assure the people of Israel who have lived this nightmare for months now that they are safe? We've seen attacks in Israel, also in the occupied West Bank, of violence recently.
Israel needs, the main thing that the Israeli public is looking at right now is whether we defeat Hamas or not, and whether we completely eliminate Hamas or not. Because once we do that, not only are the people on the borders of Gaza safer, this also sends a message to terrorist groups all around Israel, including the north, and we have Hezbollah there, including in Yemen, and we have the Houthis over there, and including in Iraq, in Iran, all around the world, that Israel cannot be messed with, and that if Israel is attacked, it will respond forcefully. I want to say again, though, that it's not just only about Israel, it's the whole free world. If Israel is decisive here, then terrorists all around the world will be deterred. If not, then terrorists all around the world, including in Europe and including in North America, will see this as a message that Western society, that the free world is not strong when responding to terrorist attacks. And therefore, our fight right now, the IDF soldiers that are fighting right now in Gaza, are not just fighting for Israel's security, they're fighting for the security of the whole free world.
Yeah, the global threat from evil, not just in Israel. Dan Illouz, as always, thank you. And speaking of that global threat, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.